The free-to-play game scene is growing from strength to strength. The best of the bunch offer tons of content, and all for the price of zilch. The days of rampant microtransactions are fading away in favor of less intrusive, more ethical payment structures too, meaning that there's never been a better time to dive in. EXOMECHA. EXOMECHA appears to meld the best bits from FPS mainstays Halo and Titanfall with explosive action, sci-fi gunplay, and vehicular combat combined with humongous, fully customizable mechs running wild. The lush tropical locales with craggy ridges and deep valleys provide a fertile playground for a mismatch of playstyles and character builds, underpinned by an intriguing grappling hook mechanic allowing rapid transfers from ground to vehicle. Reportedly, this free-to-play online shooter will ship with a variety of game modes, including Battle Royale, plus large-scale team battles and objective-based missions. However, developer Twisted Red have sadly, within the last 24 hours at the time of this writing, announced the delay to EXOMECHA's release, citing needs for extra polish. You can sign up for the beta on the EXOMECHA website, so fingers crossed this title is still coming to the Xbox platforms and PC sometime this year. Squad Battle. Fast-paced action brawler Squad Battle borrows a few elements from large-scale battle royale games. Players team up in squads of 3 to fight together in 20 squad battles across a huge cityscape map. The kicker here, though, is a focus on creative close-quarter combat, with players able to choose from a raft of customizable melee weapons to combine with ranged attacks. Also, developers Netmarble state that there's a huge cast of unique characters, each with their own distinct fighting styles, meaning teams must conjure the most effective combination to be the last one standing. Squad Battle's action is slick, with a playful art style reminiscent of a 2000s era aesthetic. If all these elements come together seamlessly, then Squad Battle looks to be a real blast. Spine. Spine is another team-based action game with customizable characters on this rundown. However, this time set in a dystopian neon cityscape, rain-soaked in a typical fashion. Spine stands out from the crowd with its reflex mechanic, granting players abilities to stretch the limits of human capability in exciting ways via implant technology. We can see this demonstrated in Spine's official trailer. Whilst not actual gameplay, it appears players can evade bullets by melting into pixelated dust or undertake martial arts-inspired Matrix-style body contortions in competitive close combat. Developer Bonsai Games praises the cinematic quality of Spine's camera work too, stating that the presentation of its adrenaline-fueled fight scenes won't be replicated in any other multiplayer. Spine is coming to Xbox Series X and S and PS5, with support for iOS and Android platforms. The Cycle Frontier. The Cycle Frontier tasks players as prospectors hunting for valuable resources on a lush, mysterious planet long abandoned after recurring radioactive storms. Violent bolts of lightning aren't the only thing you'll be tasked with outrunning. The Cycle Frontier's world of Fortuna 3 is also chock full of bloodthirsty alien monsters. Plus, you'll need to be wary of other prospectors, as there's no telling if another players will be friendly or if they're out there to steal your loot. You're competing for the same resources to upgrade your skills and equipment after all. Couple this with the game's insurance mechanic, whereby you'll need to be careful and choose the handful of items to keep in your inventory should you be killed. Then the Cycle Frontier's balancing survival mechanics with high-stakes PvPvE, first-person shooter action looks to set this title apart from the raft or other free-to-play competitive shooters. The Cycle Frontier is coming to PC sometime in 2022. Return Alive. Top-down survival shooter Return Alive sees players engage in multiplayer battles with elements of PvP and PvE gameplay. Missions can be tackled solo or in teams of at least 2, and will focus on journeying through dangerous wastelands in search of valuable resources, which, when safely returned, can be spent upgrading your character or crafting unique weapons. Having just completed a private beta, we expect COG will soon flesh out Return Alive's lore and backstory. What we know so far, a genetically mutating dark mist descending onto human civilization after an event known as the Great Catastrophe, has certainly piqued our interest. Here's hoping COG have learned from their previous cash grab antics, as what we've seen of Return of Alive up to now looks pretty promising. Arc Raiders. After its jaw-dropping trailer was revealed during the Game Awards 2021, there's been a growing buzz surrounding Arc Raiders, the upcoming cooperative third-person shooter from Embark Studios. Everything from the explosive gunplay, the contrasting beauty of serene forests with crumbling concrete cities, to the imposing scale of the mechanized enemies, and even the vintage 1970s logo. As a presentation, it's just so on point. From what we can tell in the trailer, battles will be an intense struggle where you'll have to work closely with your squad of raiders to creatively take down the humongous alienoid mechanoids. We at GamingBolt can't wait to dive in and save the planet when Arc Raiders comes to PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PS5 this year. Undecember. The thrill of annihilating countless enemies in one fell swoop is present and correct in gory hack-and-slash adventure Undecember. Coming to PC and mobile very soon, Needs Games hopes their RPG will stand out from the crowd by way of its avoidance of rigid character classes, typical in role-playing growth systems. Instead, players will be able to combine a host of skills and equipment into their own unique build. And, should their playstyle evolve as the game goes on, then they can dismantle and rebuild from Undecember's infinite combination of skills. Elsewhere, the variety of locales players will battle hordes on the hunt for skill ruins, including flame-lit medieval castles, mystical forests, and foggy swamps. It's all very Diablo looking, in a good way of course. The game has now been released in Korea, with Needs Gaming stating a Western release is imminent. Rumbleverse. Billed as a brawler royale, Rumbleverse is transforming the shrinking map gameplay loop typical of battle royales into a beat-em-up arena for 40 players. Also, typical of battle royales, players can choose from the host of unique characters, each with a raft of items with which to customize their look. Exploration and traversal looks pretty sweet too, with fist-flying action happening on every street corner and atop every skyscraper in Rumbleverse's Grappital City. The playful aesthetic and bright cartoonish art style makes Rumbleverse feel like one of those you can happily drop in and out of, with its comedy takedowns providing ample, low-stakes enjoyment. This one's coming soon to PlayStation, Xbox, and PC via the Epic Games Store. Blue Fire Voidmaker. Blue Fire Voidmaker is the free-to-download spin-off of a fantastical 3D action platformer, Blue Fire. Unleashing your creativity in Voidmaker is akin to fellow game creation systems Dream, in that you'll be able to build your own levels, your imagination unlimited thanks to a broad arsenal of tools, assets, visuals, and gameplay modes. There's a vibrant community of Voidmakers with which to share your creations with too, plus a smorgasbord of community-made voids with which to take on yourself with your friends. The best part is you don't need to have paid for the original Blue Fire game to dive into Voidmaker. It's completely free, no strings attached. Gundam Evolution. Wow, we're seeing some real frantic action in Gundam Evolution's trailers, with mobile suits plucked straight out of the hit anime running amok over deftly designed sci-fi arenas. Pilots will battle in teams of 6 with a raft of suit abilities like the thrust system and G-maneuver, ensuring speedy traversal in what is sure to be a fast-paced, immersive gunplay. The game will ship with 12 unique mobile suit units, each with distinct attacks and loadout capabilities. There will also be 3 battle modes to test the differing playstyles of your team on the way to victory. Bandai Namco are bringing Gundam Evolution to PlayStation sometime in 2022. Idle Monsters TD Evolved. Idle Monsters TD Evolved is an endless tower defense game pitting epic monsters in relentless battles with evil humans, the goal being to prevent the invaders from overrunning your base. The game's charming 3D fantasy setting masks a deeply strategic experience. There's 40 unique monsters to choose from, each with its own elemental skill and attributes, and it's up to you to discover their optimum combination and placement to achieve tower synergy that is crucial for fending off the infinite waves of human opponents. With countless upgrades, spells, artifacts, and technology to uncover, alongside your monster's 3-stage evolution, there's plenty to keep you engaged. Idle Monsters TD Evolved is currently in early access for PC and Mac, but it'll be released in finished form sometime in the next 2 to 3 months. Aria. With its hand-painted presentation and swooning orchestral soundtrack, Aria certainly looks to replicate the beauty found in artistic experiences like Journey or Abzu. The game itself is a narrative-driven adventure following Aria, a young girl adrift in her own corrupted imagination following recent tragedy. Accompanying her is half-dolphin, half-kiwi, Dolki, and together they'll glide through serene aquatic locations and surreal urban environments dotted with floating kettles and paper windmills. We expect this will be a contemplative experience loaded with metaphors with which to ruminate on Aria's tragedy. The game has just been released this week, so if you're after a thoughtful, peaceful experience, then Aria's the one to try. Crystal Clash. Let's get one thing out in the open. Crystal Clash is a tired name. It's generic sounding, implying generic gameplay. Plus, it looks just like League of Legends Aura mode with fights taking place down a single lane. Look beyond these though, and Crystal Clash's blend of fast-paced action and easy-to-learn strategy alongside tower defense and deck-building mechanics mean this tug-of-war battler stands out amongst the raft of similar free-to-play games. Players can engage in either 2v2 or co-op matches with a choice of 5 distinct legions to do battle with. Winning battles grants you cards that'll strengthen your deck. The heart of Crystal Clash's gameplay loop is combining these cards to create your own specific tactics and strategy. Give this one a bash now. It's available on the PC via Steam. Project Z. Swedish developer 314 Arts are hoping that this World War II co-op shooter set within a zombie-infested Nazi island will be anything but run-of-the-mill. They're placing strong focus on immersive attention to detail. For instance, characters will commit suicide should they leave the game lobby, instead of simply disappearing. And environmental storytelling is rife with mysterious graffiti offering clues as to the secrets lurking within the mysterious island. Of course, satisfying gunplay is front and center too, with the hordes of undead enemies exploding in a delightful mess of blood and guts, with narrative-driven missions to each corner of the island uncovering different zombie types. It's clear the developers are putting a lot of care and attention into this release. If they strike the perfect balance between tactical shooting and all-out desperation gunplay, alongside the usual resource gathering and whatnot, then this looks to be a special game indeed. Gangstar, New York. There's lofty ambition running through Gameloft's upcoming Gangstar New York. It's an experience touted as a social sandbox set in a near-future Big Apple, ripe for the taking by some criminal underling. I mean, it's clearly borrowing influence from GTA Online, but with the current bloated state of Los Santos, somewhere fresh and vibrant to explore on the journey to becoming a criminal kingpin might just be in high demand. It certainly helps that Gameloft's artistic vision for the futuristic New York is quite stunning, with bright neon color palette encouraging you endlessly explore, run, drive, shoot, steal, climb, parkour, grapple, zipline, and jetpack to the top of the underworld. There's no release date announced for this one yet, so here's hoping it'll make it out before the year's end. And that's just 15 free-to-play games. Let us know if we missed one or what you're looking forward to in the comments below. And while you're here, leave a like and check out some of the other gaming videos on the side here.